All right, good morning. We are on Pasuk Chaf. Pasuk actually goes on and describes something fascinating. It says, Chokhmat b'chutz torena, v'rechovot titen kola. Page 46, check. Which says, wisdom cries aloud outside in the streets, she raises her voice, Pasuk says. And it's actually one of the most breathtaking transitions in Tanakh. Why? Because after warning us about the sinners who come, I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, the Pasuk says, come with us. The sinner says, Shlomo now really introduces something new. He introduced something called Chokhmah, which is divine wisdom calling us back from this idea. And if you notice the difference here, it says in the beginning, it said, the sinners whisper in private, Narvel al Adam, and then here, Tarona Bachutz, which here wisdom cries out in public. Why? Because evil really seduces in the dark, truth speaks in the open. The Rambam actually explains in Moreh Nevuchim, he says that Chokhmah here represents the voice of Torah, which is the divine intellect placed within man, crying out to us through the reason, through actually the Rambam says through prophecy, really. Now, why is it here? Why here is it saying that wisdom cries, bachutz cries outside? Because people often think that holiness really belongs only on the inside, in the Bet Midrash, and Shul, and Tefillah, and all that stuff. But just not always. Shlomo here is saying no. Wisdom belongs outside too, which means in the workplace, in the street, in your conversations, in the way you speak, right? All that stuff, you can elevate everything around you. They say that anything you do in life can really be Torah-oriented if you focus that it will be Torah-oriented. So you go to work for a reason, right? To provide for your family in a kosher way. Your whole work is a mitzvah. You eat. The way you're eating is to enable yourself to give your Gemara Shir in the morning. That's a mitzvah. Your eating is a mitzvah. You know? So everything, you could really change everything.
But it's very hard because you really have to distill all the benefit to the Shem Shamayim.
It could go both ways, because if your whole goal is to eat,
Let's say a person goes to buy a nice house and go on vacation.
So person has to be real with himself. If you're buying your house to provide hachnasat orchim, you know, it's actually fascinating. The Gemara,
you could always come up with a trick.
Of course, yeah. The Gemara in Betzat, the Gemara in Betzat discusses a famous Gemara. One of the most famous Gemara says that your mizunotav is provided for you from Rosh Hashanah to the next Rosh Hashanah on that year. Besides three things, right?
Can you guess?
No, Shabbat, Yom Tov, Talmud Torah, and there's a machloket over there. What else? Which means your expenses for Shabbat, the expenses for Talmud Torah, which is like tuition, whatever it is. People use that as tuition, and for Yom Tov. So people say now, let me buy a steak, let me buy whatever I want for Shabbat. So my rabbi actually has a whole list. I sat with him in his office and I asked him, can I get this for Shabbat? Can I get this? The poskim even bring down, if you leave your AC on the whole Shabbat and you're scared from electric bill, your bill's going to be for free. I'm not sure if I told you this story. When I first moved to Israel.
Wait, you're saying miraculously it's going to be for free?
It pulls through, and I had personal experience. When I came to Israel, I had $0 when I first moved to Israel. We just got to Israel. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. They lost my suitcase. I had no clothing. I was in the mirror. I had no clothing to go to the mirror. I literally walked in with the clothing that I went on the plane. Like, literally, it was a joke. My suitcase came a week and a half later, so I went to the mall, whatever, I bought a bunch of stuff. So I had $0 in my bank account. My plan was like, I'm not going to take any money I'm just going to live with what I have now. Some guy calls me Thursday night. We landed Wednesday. A guy calls me Thursday night. Can I come with a bunch of friends for Shabbat? Like, we just got here. No, I was married to my apartment.
Wow.
Okay? So I'm saying a story of how when I got to Israel, I'm saying how from the Gemara says from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you all your money set no matter what. Mm-hmm. Besides Shabbat expenses, tuition, besides meaning Shabbat, you have unlimited.
Oh,
unlimited.
how you doing?
Yeah. So basically, I moved to Israel. I had no
buy
money.
The Ferrari on Shabbat.
Yeah, no, you have to hear this. Yeah, I had no money. The guy calls me Thursday night. I landed Wednesday. The guy calls me Thursday night. He's like, Rabbi, can I please come with 4 of my friends? I was asking my wife, and I was like, we have to have them. Okay?
That's very nice.
I go to the store. I start buying meat. I don't even look. I start buying meat. I start buying fish. I start buying that. My bill's like $400. Okay? Let's say Shabbat. Promise you. Open my phone. I get a Zelle for $400. Random person. He's like, I heard you go to Israel. I want to help you out. And I'm like, what? This is legit what the Gemara says. Gemara says,
was it the same price? As
exactly the same amount. I had a crazy story. One of my students took me out for a dinner. You probably know also. We're sitting there, and we were in when Bonito was still open. We're sitting there. The bill was like whatever, a fortune. You know, it's crazy expensive. So we're sitting there. He texts me. He calls me at 1 a.m. He's like, Rabbi, you don't understand what just happened to me. I'm like, well, it's like I have a random business, like a side hustle. Never sell anything. I got an order for the exact same amount, of our bill in Bonito. Oh my God, it has nothing to do with the Gemara. Completely different. But the Gemara goes on and discusses all these different things. For example, if you're a doctor and you have to drive on Shabbat, so if you get a Tesla, Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to pay you back. Why? Because you're lowering your deraita to derabanan.
Also,
Right?
sometimes you're not going to get a Zell after.
You're not going to get Zayat. It's going to come a little later.
You're not realize.
But you have to believe in order for it to happen. Right there. Let's continue on. And he says that why is here talking about wisdom in this? Because wisdom really could apply everywhere in the world, throughout your whole life. And the Torah really doesn't want to be hidden, as he says here. It wants you to be illuminated in the streets, right? We know, how do we fight darkness in this world? We need to be a light. So it says here that we need to be a light onto the world fueled by the Torah. What is the light that we bring to the world is from the Torah, not from anything else. I was learning with one of my students the other day, and he told me, he's like, Rabbi, he says, I wish if the whole world was following the way of the Torah. And this guy's not religious at all, literally not completely not religious. He told me if the whole world would be following the ways of the Torah, the world would be a better place.
Observant, no?
Not even observant, just the ideas of the Torah.
Yeah.
Observant, of course. The ideas, to love another,
The Ten Commandments.
Ten Commandments, not even Ten
basic
Commandments.
as
The ideas that you have to love your friend as you love yourself. We have the concept of ahavat chinam and sinat chinam, right? My rabbi used to say something powerful. He said it's not possible to have ahavat chinam. How is it possible to love a Jew for free? There's always something to love about a Jew, no matter
There's always
what.
a catch.
There's always something to love. Not always a catch. Always something to love about a Jew.
It's like the famous story. I'm sure you guys know somebody who forgot $100 in his pocket right before Shabbat. He puts it in the chumash. You guys know the story?
No.
He puts $100. He finds it in his pocket right before Shabbat. He doesn't want to carry it, so he takes a book, chumash, puts it inside. After Shabbat, I'll go take it. After Shabbat, he opens it. It's only $50 in the Ten Commandments.
The guy took 50, left him 50. Yeah. That's really the idea. The idea is that when you understand all these ideas that Shlomo is telling us, the wisdom that sings outside, we have to bring the wisdom to the world. We know every time there's a terrorist attack, we come back fighting not with our hands per se, but also with light. We dispel light with darkness. We would dispel darkness with light. When you come into an empty room, what lights up the room? A tiny fire can light up the room. Same thing with your neshama. Everyone has a neshama here. You can, double your neshama to someone else. You give him part of your neshama to enable him to also become great. That's where the idea is that we have to be a light unto the nations, because the wisdom is in the street. We have to change the way the world is thinking, especially today. The world today is really messed up. I don't know if you saw the debate last night between
It wasn't on TV. It was on
whatever it was. It was a mess. It was a mess.
Was still good?
Yeah, Lee was actually very
Yeah,
good.
but the whole thing was just Mamdani gets up there. He goes.
He skirted around the issue.
He's like, how are you going to pay for all the stuff they want to do? He's like, I'm going to raise all your taxes.
Yeah, he's like,
Whoever doesn't see that,
I'm going to raise the richest taxes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm raising it by a couple percent.
That means he wants. I'll get $5 billion. That's how I'm paying.
He wants to get. You understand? Now a lot of people pay 50% in the city. He wants to make it 54%. That's crazy. That's
for the
more
rich,
than,
for making
it's more than
over,
half your
for
salary.
making over a certain amount.
Whatever
of
it is,
dollars.
more than half your salary is going to the government.
You're saying when you add federal tax and state tax.
Whatever it is, he's not going to state tax. He's
no,
going to
meaning federal plus state. Plus
right.
It's
crazy.
Right now, it's about 51%.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
More than half your money goes.
It's crazy.
To the government?
If you're making a certain amount, if you're in that bracket, yeah. 37 plus, I think another 10.
400 grand in the bracket, no?
Huh? 10
and
another 4,
400
huh?
grand, no?
Repeat?
The bracket is 400 grand, no?
I think that's. I'm not sure what the bracket is.
It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
May we always be in that bracket.
If you make $1 million.
I'll be honest, it's not always worth it to be
490.
at that bracket. Sometimes it's better to be in the 100,000 bracket and you get free healthcare, free this, free that, and you live like a king.
To be in that bracket.
The Baal Shem Tov used to say, quoting on this idea, he says that whenever a Jew walks in the street, the Torah is walking with him, and that is what he's saying here. Chachmot b'chutz Torana. Torah isn't confined to just the parchment that we read outside. It's alive in every encounter in our lives, and B'ezrat Hashem, we use that in every single day, in every single encounter we have. B'ezrat Hashem will continue on Monday.